Welcome, everybody. Is Baby Yoda in the Balenciaga ad campaign? Are you a teddy bear now? Are you also part of that using kids for all the wrong reasons and selling it to grown-ups? Ew, Baby Yoda, cha. Well, we're going to talk about Balenciaga. But first, subscribe to my channel here on the tubes. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together, for extra perks. Thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream every Saturday, and you're all invited to join the live chats. Let me cue in my co-conspirators, darling. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, okay? Not rooted in truths or facts. It's just my opinion. Everything's alleged. Just to be very, very clear, because it's a really sensitive topic too. So, Janie, Balenciaga, keep yo paws off Grogu, right? Let me tell you, baby Burpee Yoda. So, Barfenciaga, yeah. So, okay, first of all, I'm late to the game commenting on this, but I was away last weekend. I couldn't film anything because I was at my European premiere of my movie Art Lovers Unite with Vivienne Westwood. So I had better things to do than to deal with the shit that Balenciaga and Demna are doing. But since a lot of my viewers have been asking throughout the entire week, sending me DMs, commenting, saying, Dacob, like, tell us what you think about the Balenciaga situation with their newest ad campaign, with the teddy bears and the kids in the children room, with all those kind of, framed pictures and images and books or posters or stuff scattered around that seem to imply or implicate that whoever did the styling is kind of secretly, not even that secretly, promoting. You can't even use those words on YouTube anymore, but you know what I mean. Damaging the well-being of children. Let's just put it that, and this is very mildly put. It's much worse than that, obviously. So of course, what does Balenciaga do? Typical to all of these brands that are just a joke. They don't assume any responsibility. They release a stupid statement saying, we don't condone this. The people who did this we're gonna sue them. I'm like, you have the responsibility, Balenciaga, to control everything that you publish. Not some Oompa Loompa that styled the thing for you. You have to sign off on everything before you publish it. So take some responsibility and quit being a sissy, honestly. And being like, oh no, it's not us, it's not our fault. Yes, it's your fault. It's your fault. And the fact that you're reacting the way you are by saying that it's not your fault literally shows me that nothing is going to change. This is unforgivable. And the fact that you're not assuming any responsibility makes it even more unforgivable. Now, I know in the United States, there's always a good moment for redemption. Everybody loves to sit on a kitchen floor crying, making an apology video. The American system is built upon apologies. You do something, you do the diddy, you do the diddy, and then you apologize for it and you have your redemption moment. It's very American. Balenciaga is not American, though. It's European. Now, Europe is worse than America in many ways. Why? Because we've all seen... Listen, which one of you remembers Gosha Rudzinski? Does that name ring a bell in the fashion world? The guy, the designer, who still is collaborating with Comme des Garçons. Nobody canceled him. He was canceled for half a second before the big cancellation era began because, he always photographs teenage boys, 14, 13 years old, mostly Russian. Then some of these boys allegedly started, leaking stuff that he was, writing them, wanting more from them, getting more from them. And it was a whole thing. Did the guy get canceled? No. He kept working. He kept collaborating with other brands. So that's Europe for you. Nobody cares. Stuff like this is like, oh, sexuality? Oh, sex? Oh, you're 14, 13, 16, 19, 20? I think because don't forget the history of Europe when you're talking about this. Moral evolves. Things change. Times change. Time evolve. But there's this deep-rooted history within Europe that is just, well, let's just put it this way. Kids would get married at the age of 11, 12. And it's deeply rooted within the society. Is it messed up to do that today? Yes, it is. That's how we consider morals today. What's going to happen 50 years from now? How will our morals be 50 years from now? Nobody knows. It might get worse or better. We don't know. But all I'm trying to say is Europe is still, it has a different approach to things than America does, for better or for worse. There are things America does better. There are things Europe does better. It's all, they both have their terrible histories and their also beautiful histories. It's kind of a mix and match. There you go. Styling Secret tried to marry at 13 from the Netherlands. You see what I mean? We'll go. But I boycotted Balenciaga, in fact. So Shirley says, I boycotted Balenciaga, in fact. I'm seriously thinking of throwing away my 3 pairs of sneakers and cutting up my hourglass Balenciaga jacket. I say, F them. 5-Kilo Trop. Yes, I thought of Oliviero Toscani and his questionable Benetton campaigns as well. 90s, early 2000s. Now, Oliviero Toscani's campaigns are amazing. I still have the Colors magazine, the Benetton Colors magazine from back in the day when he was doing the cover. And he was also the artistic director of them. And his photos were on the top, So he was challenging society to actually question what they're doing. This Balenciaga ad is a subliminal message. It's not, look, had Balenciaga, like, let's talk for real now. I don't like to use these kind of semi-terms to get to the point. So let's just say it as it is. For example, the difference between Toscani and the Balenciaga ad campaign. So it would have been more of an Oliviero Toscani, just my opinion. It would have been more of an Oliviero Toscani style campaign for Balenciaga if, let's say, Balenciaga wanted to raise awareness about the mistreatment, for lack of a much heavier word that I cannot use here, of children. So Oliviero Toscani, how I see it, he would have done a campaign where the kid is literally black eye and in pain, and he would raise awareness and say, this is what's happening. That's what Oliviero Toscani always did. He always kind of lifted a mirror to society. Oliviero Toscani would not have done a subliminal message of a seemingly happy kid on the bed with a teddy bear in a harness, but then all around the bedroom, scattered on the walls and on the floor, all of these like subliminal texts about how the person who's living in this house, apparently with this kid, is proud to be mistreating the kid. For lack of I could use a better word here, but we are on YouTube. That's the problem here, that it seems like somebody willingly hid, not well enough, all of those terrible subliminal messages there, which I repeat are not that subliminal if you really look into detail. And that's just really gross, in the worst way possible. It doesn't make you think. It's not thought-provoking. It just makes you hate the brand, Now, let's rewind it a couple of years when Demna started becoming popular with Vêtements. Do you remember my videos on Vêtements? I loathed, let's quote Madonna here, I loathed hydrangeas. Well, I loathe Demna's work. And I've been saying it for years and years. I'm the Courtney Love of the situation. When Courtney Love came for Harvey Weinstein when nobody else dared come for him, and she on the red carpet gave an interview and they said, how is it, like with Harvey Weinstein? She said, whatever you do, if you meet him in a hotel lobby, don't go up with him. Run away from him. She was saying this when nobody would dare speak out about Harvey Weinstein. Okay. So I'm kind of pulling a Courtney Love moment here. I mean, I've been talking out about Demna and his whole team and this for years now. And every time I make a video about it, everybody would be coming for me, Like what do people do? Oh, how dare you even talk about fashion? Look at you. You look so ugly. What's that ugly makeup you have? The ugly hair you have, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow, that is such a superficial way of attacking me. Like, it really does nothing to me. I mean, hey, what's beautiful to you might be ugly to me, so I don't care. You could say I look like shit all day long. I'm happy you gave me attention. So I'm fine with you giving me shit. All I'm saying is, I've been saying this for years. Something is off. And I know that he's like protected, and it seems like nobody's attacking him directly because he's like not responsible for this. And it's like, they're going to sue whoever styled it, blah, blah, blah. Girl, it's him. Just my opinion. He is the rotten tooth, at the rotten apple. Okay. Now, my opinion only. I have not liked his energy from day one. And then when Balenciaga announced that he was going to, from Vetements, going to become the artistic director of Balenciaga, I was like, ugh, really? The same, by the way, reaction I had when I heard that Alessandro Michele is becoming the head of Gucci. We're going to get to Alessandro Michele in another video and to Gucci in another video, so stay tuned for that. But what we are at right now is, well, Balenciaga is owned by a huge company. And that huge company also has responsibilities, but the huge company doesn't want to assume the responsibilities, and it's kind of like, Balenciaga is its own company, and that's how it kind of sounds. But Balenciaga doesn't want to assume any responsibilities because Balenciaga says that the people in charge of styling this ad campaign or directing this ad campaign are responsible. So they're saying we're going to sue them. And I'm like, really? You're really going to play this stupid little game? You think we're such idiots? Because at the end of the day, it's my money. So you can blame whoever you want. You can point fingers at whoever you want. You don't have to assume any responsibility, honey boo boo cha. But I ain't going to drop a pretty penny dime, nothing in your direction. I never did. And I will continue not to do so. Now, Cristobal Balenciaga has nothing to do with all of this. The poor man died decades ago. He doesn't own his own brand anymore. He dead. So I'm not saying the brand Balenciaga is terrible. I'm just saying change everybody working in there. Do a whole restructuring of the brand. Start hiring people that actually care about other people, maybe a little bit less about themselves. And then maybe we can talk. But until you don't fire everybody that's responsible for all of this, at Balenciaga, I mean, not externals. Because externals always get shit thrown their way because they're not employed by the brand. They're externally paid just to do one ad campaign, to do a photo shoot here or there. And then, of course, always the blame falls onto them because they're easy scapegoats. That's called scapegoating. It's like what multi-billion or million-dollar corporations do. It's the 101 of how they save face. It's been done over and over and over again. It's been done so many times that I'm like, really? Are we still this dumb as consumers that we keep falling for it over and over and over again? Yeah, apparently a lot of people are still this dumb. Lemmings. So I say, learn from this. Stop buying this shit. And just because some popular person... By the way, Kanye West wearing the Balenciaga stuff, and now he went on to... Did you see what that Oompa Loompa did? Oh my god. Now he says that that he likes some of the things the Nazis did. He went on Infowars. Infowars. You know the guy that talks like this, like the other potato head? He who lost a lawsuit in millions, thankfully, because people sued him for, misinformation about them. Long story, you can go check that out, but now that Kanye lost all his, contracts with most brands, like he goes on Infowars with a black mask on his head saying that, Nazis weren't all that bad. Right after he was, headlining the Balenciaga runway. Girl. No. The whole lot of them got to go. Yesterday. Seriously. Ricardo says, what I thought it was the worst was the references to Minor Sacrifice collab with him. He is nuts. Oh, he did just minor sacrifice ritual is gross. And I've seen, I think Audrey or Debbie sent me also the link to like a TikTok video of the Balenciaga tape, and they spelled Balenciaga with 2 A's, and then that means Baal, and Baal is this weird demon creature that you got to sacrifice kids to, that whatever. I'm like, what? I don't want to know. It's disgusting enough. Just done. We're done here. Like, they got to go. Seriously. Just done. Don't buy them anymore. Don't spend money on them anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They obviously don't have the heart in the right place. The mind is gone, far gone, allegedly, but the heart is definitely not in the right place. It's just too much. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Um, yeah, definitely. Asia asks, do you think they did it on purpose? But this is my Asia. This is a really good question. But what to do? What on purpose? What? Like what? And like what? They're not raising awareness about anything. They're just being hated by the whole world. Like, okay, you wanted to be hated. What? No, they had to delete all their photos from Instagram. Like the account still exists. I'm like, delete your account, bitch. Delete your account. You don't have to have. Oh no, we're just gonna delete the photos, and then we can damage control. Damage control. Get the hell out of here. There's the dough. There's the dough. Just I don't want to see your Instagram account. I don't want to see an Instagram account of yours at all. It's not enough to just delete all your photos. Just go. just go. Just zip it, shove it, shut it, leave, and don't come back. You know. Um so they always delete all the posts every month or so. It's not related to this drama. Well, it is, because the only thing that was left up also, was like, we're so sorry, we're gonna sue the people responsible. You're gonna sue yourselves? Is that how you're gonna do it now? Because if you're gonna sue the people responsible, you're gonna have to sue yourself. I mean, then sue yourself, Valencia. Why don't you take yourself to court? Why don't you sue yourself? CC Spy says, I agree with you. There is a subliminal message to normalize this. I was saying this to the real Shakeen yesterday. Exactly. They need to look in the mirror. Exactly. Let me tell you. Is Cannibals really loved by elite artists? Why are these obsessed too many Walking Dead episodes? But listen, I mean, people also do too much. There's also a lot of conspiracy theories out there. You guys don't believe everything you hear. I worked when I was, more active in the arts field, in the acting field, performing field, but also in the fashion field with some really, really, really VIP people, famous people, some of them also, in the art world, acting world, and some of them with terrible reputations of being witches and this and that. They're not. I can tell you. They're not. They're the most normal, boring people in real life. They just have a persona that they act out when they're on the street, when they're in front of a camera. And then when the camera is off and things are, gone, then they revert to their little humble, shy selves. HRH collection. She's not that batshit crazy in real life like she is on camera. On camera, it's a persona. She's acting to be crazy. Alex, all over the place, yelling, shouting. You meet her in real life, she's like a super soft-spoken, sweet lady. You guys, come on, wake up and smell the coffee. However, this is Balenciaga. This is a big brand. People are wearing it. Youth is wearing it. Youth culture is into it. They think that's the epitome of style and class and sophistication and fashion. And in reality, by wearing those clothes at the moment, they are giving off the complete opposite vibe of healthy youth culture. And by the way, by healthy youth culture, I don't mean, dress up square. Punk was also something of the youth culture back in the 70s. And it was also deemed a demon thing by, the reigning society back in the day. The bourgeoisie, all of the conservatives, would see punk as something demonic, when in reality, it was just a rebellion against the conservative state of things and trying to open things up so that everything would be fair for everyone. Now the punk movement has come and gone, and other things come and go. But what is Balenciaga trying to tell us? This is not a new punk movement. This is just embarrassing. It's embarrassingly awful. It's beyond cringe. Like, this is a reason why you should cancel a brand. Like, if I've ever seen a reason to cancel, this is a reason. And like, I think it goes without saying. Anyway, I don't have any of their things. I don't own their things from this entire Demna era. I think the last Balenciaga piece I bought was when Nicolas Ghesquière, who's now designing Louis Vuitton for women, when Nicolas Ghesquière was the artistic director at Balenciaga, we're talking early 2000s. Early 2000s. That's the last time I bought a piece of Balenciaga. at their outlet. Balenciaga had an outlet close to Florence, Italy, called the Mall, and it was like an outlet city. And in that outlet city, there was a Balenciaga outlet, and I remember buying a pair of black leather boots, a belt. I still have the belt, by the way. It's like a boxing belt out of a soft leather, and a pair of pants. The pants don't fit me no more because a girl survived a pandemic. What you want? I don't fit the pants anymore. But I am on a diet, so I might be able to fit them again. But I haven't worn them in like decades. So yeah, like early 2000s was the last time I purchased anything from Balenciaga. Tells you all you need to know. Um, so yeah. Anyway, there just had to be a Dacob video talking about it, and he deserved it. And he served it ice cold. Just saying. Done. Um, Next. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been rough. I was a huge fan of Demna. Oh, the pre-Demna era. Yeah, pre-Demna. Ghesquière was good for Balenciaga. Ghesquière is not so good for Louis Vuitton. But he was good for Balenciaga. Just saying. Anyway. Now, for all the kids who might want to come for me now for this video, I'm like, do your research, do yourself a favor. Don't embarrass yourself like you always do in my comment sections. It's like people who know nothing, and then they like comment something down there trying to come for me for how I look. It's like, girl, save yourself the time. Love you loads. Subscribe. Never give up on love.